Good afternoon. Today we will be discussing three concepts from Rosenblum, Kravchuk, and Clerkin's book, Public Administration, Understanding Management, Politics, and Law in the Public Sector, Chapter 4, Structure and Process. We will discuss organization theory, leadership, and contemporary managerial perspectives. We will also present a current and relevant example for each key topic and a recommendation for said organization. Organizations are set up to produce an output utilizing structure and process. Structure consists of the hierarchical structure, delegated authority to implement the structure and processes, and humans to carry out the activities necessary to achieve goals. Each organization must consider the most effective way to achieve goals and produce output. Several aspects play a role in the success of an organization. This summary will highlight a few of the theories and methods to lead a successful organization by identifying two prevalent organization theories, common leadership qualities and traits, and result-oriented approaches.
Frederick Winslow Taylor was the founder of scientific management, or Taylorism. Scientific management was intended to find the most efficient and cost-effective way to produce output. Taylorism was optimistic that scientific management would yield greater cooperation between workers and management. Greater cooperation would be a natural reaction when the system produced greater productivity, which would result in higher and more effective performance, which would yield greater profits to share. However, Taylor did not consider the human factor. Taylor treated employees simply as extensions of a machine without considering boredom, lack of promotion opportunities, or morale. Dehumanization is the greatest weakness of Taylorism. In contrast to scientific management, human relations approach does consider the human factor within organizations. The Hawthorne experiments were conducted by Elton Mayo, Fritz Roethlisberger, and a team from the Harvard Business School at the Western Electric Company in Chicago from 1927 to 1932. The experiment started with a classical organization and scientific management approach. However, the study changed when the team realized the variables of the human factor and productivity. There were numerous conclusions identified from the Hawthorne experiments. First, social and psychological factors heavily affected productivity. Second, the level of job satisfaction can be determined by non-economic rewards and permissions. Third, dividing labor does not need to include specialization at its fullest potential to be efficient. Although the Hawthorne experiments valued employee relations, the approach's end goal remained efficiency and productivity. The United States Marine Corps is a good example of Taylorism. Marines work in uniform to achieve one goal, and the overall sense of the organization is an all-for-one mentality. Although Taylorism yields success in production, it can lead to workers feeling dehumanized since the work is repetitive and there is little room for individual expression. We can find many organizations today, both public and private, that do place an emphasis on developing a positive morale within the workplace. Take GeniusLink, for example, a Seattle-based marketing agency that allows employees to bring their dogs to work.
According to Eugene Lewis, qualities, skills, and traits of effective leaders are the included. 1. Belief in the possibility of success. Leaders believe their efforts will make an impact towards change. 2. Communication skills. Leaders must be effective communicators. 3. Empathy. Empathy allows for open and honest communication, which leads to the ability to understand others and help influence. 4. Energy. Leaders require hard work and dedication, often taking up a lot of time. Leaders will need energy to lead. 5. Sound judgment. Leaders must keep matters in perspective and exercise sound judgment. 6. Constancy. Leaders must be reliable, especially in times of distress. 7. Self-management. Leaders must act in accordance with their strengths and weaknesses and know when to seek help when others are more qualified. The best example of a leader can be Nelson Mandela. Nelson Mandela demonstrated courage when it may not have been easiest, but showing such courage gave others the hope they needed to continue fighting for their rights. Through implicit communication, Mandela could show his followers that their victory was obtainable. Even while in prison for fighting for fairness and equality, Mandela continued to lead, and after he was released, he was not bitter nor sought revenge. He motivated and inspired others with his words and actions. Leadership traits that Nelson Mandela obtains are qualities that all should strive to attain.
Practitioners and political leaders who must contend with public administrative practice on a day-to-day basis need some principles and values to inform their actions. Contemporary managerial perspectives are goals and results-oriented process for organizations to follow. Utilizing a result-oriented approach, organizations can have a uniform approach to meeting goals. Of the endless options, management by objective, MBO, and total quality management, TQM, are two highly recognized results approach processes. Management by objective, or also known as MBO, was more popular at the federal level during the Nixon administration, but soon fell out of favor. Although it fell out of favor, many urban organizations are still using MBO and find that if management commits to it, the process can lead to productivity gains. Newland stated the MBO process relies on setting goals, priorities, and objectives at all levels of the organization, preparing action plans, identifying and committing resources, tracking goals, evaluating and measuring goals and objectives, and identifying areas for improvement based on the results. Total quality management, or also known as TQM, became very popular in the 1980s and 1990s in the public sector, and was initially developed by W. E. Deming. The main theme of total quality management is quality. Deming emphasized building quality into productivity as a proactive measure rather than fixing problems after implementation or production. The ideal setting for management by objective, or MBO, is in a multinational corporation such as Microsoft. Bill Gates has utilized MBO within Microsoft to eliminate politics by creating a singular objective, supplying clear and precise communication, eliminating competition between distinct parts of an organization, and by empowering teams to their own specialized things. Total quality management, or also known as TQM, is a customer-first based approach to an organization. We see establishments such as Walmart, Motorola, and independent contractors find success when TQM is implemented since it is a continuous search for improvement. Organizations implementing a TQM approach to management seek for a customer total satisfaction and seeks to create a strong relationship bond between the organization and the customer.
This chapter has discussed key learning points for public sector organization. Structure and process allows an organization to direct its efforts to perform specific services and ultimately achieve its goals. Performance is reflected by organizational structure and leadership skills that determine the processes and essential functions of the organization. Structural and procedural characteristics of an organization are a developed construct associated with bureaucracy. Bureaucratic characteristics reinforce leadership qualities that result in highly efficient, powerful, and expanding organizations. Management by objective and total quality management are approaches that stem from traditional management of public organizations. Contemporary managerial perspectives emphasize performance-driven measures designed to maximize results. In conclusion, organizations must make strategic choices that lead them to success. Understanding organizational culture and applying a mix of human relations and scientific method can lead to a desired outcome. Coupled with the proven leader at the helm and utilizing results-oriented approaches will provide a better opportunity for success. However, every situation will bring its unique challenges. Lack of resources, funds, or environmental conditions can make a structure or process face unforeseen challenges. Creating a flexible environment by keeping human factors in mind will help an organization implement and sustain an effective and efficient structure and process.